Can't always find a big soft leaf.
There we go. Okay, I think it updated. Let's see here. Can you see and hear me right now? Let me know. Audio and video, excellent. Wait, no audio? Can't see, okay. You have audio. Okay, great, yeah. Beautiful. Welcome everybody back to Paleontologizing. It is wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining us back here in beautiful, wild, southern Wyoming. We're back at the Turtle Hill site today. We've got one more day of paleobotany. Paleobotanizing, I guess we could call it. We've got Whitney here in the quarry again today. And we'll check out her new tattoo in a bit that she just got last night. But, yeah, that's going to be a cool story. But welcome to Paleontologizing. Shoot, my name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. And back home in my office, you know, streaming from there, answering questions, papers, occasionally interviewing other paleontologists via, you know, video chat, stuff like that. But it's summertime, and during the summers I go out into the field and I collect fossils, I collect data, I do paleontological fieldwork. I'm lucky enough to be able to share that with you now via the magic of satellite internet. We've got our dish over there, solar panel and solar battery. If it continues to be this cloudy, it could be a shorter stream today because we might not be able to get enough solar energy to go very long, but that's fine. Almond formation and rocks about 73 million years old. And we're not dinosaurs here, it's mostly lots of other organisms. Small vertebrates like turtles and freshwater fishes, and even your occasional mammal tooth. We only have one so far, but we're very happy about that. We just got it this season. The first mammal fossil ever found in the almond formation, as far as we know, very important. That's from down here in this lower layer. Right here, the classic Turtle Hill beds. Down here, looks like a coal mine at the moment. There's all of this coal in this jacket, which Fisher and Ava and I flipped a little while ago. We've got a bit of dinosaur rib, which is actually a rare find at this site, which is really exciting. We've got right here a vertebra of a Melvius. This is a bowfin fish. These guys got big. This is way bigger than you would find a bowfin fish vertebrate today. Bowfin are still around, but they're much smaller than this. So that's one of the bones in the back that makes up the spinal column. And then underneath here, basically right where that crack is on the other side, is a croc skull. At least that's what we think it is. It is very, very exciting to have that inarticulation. Who knows? Could even be a new species. But yeah, Turtle Hill. All the workers here are on lunch right now. You see them up there. Fisher, Ava, Josh, and Nick Oliver are up there. Yeah. Slackers! No, they're having a much-deserved lunch break right now. Been working hard down here, getting black lung, inhaling all this coal dust. You know how it is. And, yeah. And then up here, this is probably going to be the main focus of our stream today again. While she's still here, she takes off this afternoon. We've got Whitney again, our resident paleobotanist, and we're looking for some fossil plants, and we're finding them here in this part of the quarry.
We don't pull this up.
Oh, nice.
It's not complete, but.
Oh yeah, nice leaf right there. Here, I can use my laser pointer again. Right here. So that's the big vein in the center. Very cool. Nice. Is the rest of it still in the ground?
I don't know. I just pulled this up. I'm gonna look for it.
Nice. Yeah, maybe walk us through that. Like, I notice you don't use brushes to clear away dust and everything.
Yeah, so brushes can like cause like tiny little abrasions on the surface of the leaf. So mostly I just blow like this. If I see that there's an area with no leaves, then I would take a brush and I can get this out of here. I already saw there's no leaves, so I'm not at any risk doing that. But yeah, that's how it goes. Just moving slowly and
delicate stuff.
Stopping when you see leaves and trying to find bits of broken leaves that flake off.
Somebody says, somebody get this doctor an air compressor.
I don't want to carry that up this hill.
Oh, that would be murder out here. Shoot, this is like half a mile uphill and steep, rocky terrain.
Yeah, I got some lungs I can use. I don't mind.
Much more portable. We'd also need a generator for an air compressor. We don't have that.
Maybe like canned air.
Oh yeah.
But even then, it's like.
What do you do with them afterward? You just have a trash can full of empty ones?
Yeah. I'm good.
We just use our lungs.
Free air.
Yeah. A tiny bellows, perhaps?
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Have you seen, do paleobotanists use those? Like in front of a fireplace, like a bellows like that? That would be pretty funny, like a big accordion style one.
I would still have to carry it is the problem.
Yeah. And those things aren't the lightest, I guess.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, cool. Awesome.
Thanks.
So we're going to be finding lots more fossil plants like this today, live on camera. So I'm excited about that. Have we ever done a DIY barbecue with the quarry coal? Not yet. Maybe we'll have to. No, we've got a propane grill back in camp, propane stove, and that's what we use for our cooking. Yeah, I brought up that idea earlier to Fisher, like maybe we should take some of this coal and, put it in the campfire at night and see if it burns. And Fisher's like, that's the only dumb thing I've ever heard you say, Danny, which is definitely not true. But, surprised you didn't like that idea. Not even just for kicks and giggles, Yeah. Yeah. But I'm glad you're here, everybody. Again, the whole point of these streams is to have interactive science outreach. If you've got any questions at all, do not hesitate to ask them. That's why I'm here. That's what this is all about. I'm here to share paleontological fieldwork with all of you and help educate and inspire, all that good stuff. And Kodali says, that's awful grade coal. Yeah, it's probably not very good. Yeah. Yeah. And Casey Snowart says, on a scale of 1 to fun, how are you feeling about this trip? Is that a binary there? 1 to fun? Definitely fun. Yeah. No, it's been really good. I'm about halfway through now. This is, I think, 32 days that I'll be out here. And we're on I guess it's day 18. Day 17 of actual digging, though. So I'll be out here until June 30, I think is when we leave. So that's a solid 32 days. Not too shabby. Haven't had a shower yet. Probably won't get a chance to. But man, I've gone through like 3 containers of wet wipes so far. Working on number 4. And it's a good thing to have out here. It'd be a lot more difficult if I didn't have that. But I am feeling pretty filthy. I helped Fisher and Ava flip that croc jacket earlier. And just in that brief moment, not only did I scratch up my wrist there, but look at that coal dust. Imagine if I were working there all day. I'd look like a coal miner coming back to camp. In fact, that's what happened last week. But yeah. And same Ash as before. Oh, gotcha, Ash. Okay, cool. Name change. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah. And another no shower session? Oh boy, says Casey Snowart. I feel relatively clean despite that, though. I mean, I'm sure there are things that don't get as clean, but, I take a little wet wipe shower in my tent every night before I get into the sleeping bag. I'll use between 6 and 10 wet wipes every night. I stay as clean as I can under the circumstances. But, this, I think that might highlight how this work is not for everybody. Some people like to have a shower every day. I do if it's possible. But I can also go 30 plus days without a shower and be okay with that. All in the service of paleontology, The sacrifices we make for fossil science. Yeah. And Starmer says, don't you need some protection from that dust? I'm not really working there today, and it's not like actual coal mining where it's in an enclosed environment and there's dust just suspended in the air. Here, this is this wide open landscape, and you don't have the same kind of suspension of particles in the air that you would have in a coal mine. Yeah. And Wait, people were asking about the helicopter? Yeah, that'll be next year. Claire Bird. Yeah. Yeah. And it will not be a gleaming white fossil jacket and an unquine. And shoot, if they try and steal that, that sucker's gonna weigh like 1,000 pounds, maybe 2,000 pounds. Like, good luck. Yeah, I don't know. It would be like driving a pickup truck to SeaWorld in the middle of the night and trying to steal a killer whale. Like, it's not gonna happen. Yeah. But yeah. I saw a movie where they did that. It says Anodyne Quinine. I hope it was for a good cause. Yeah. And Goulash, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Hey, I really appreciate that. Phenomenal. That is excellent. I appreciate you supporting science outreach here on Twitch. I know a Prime sub is free for you, but it means a lot to me. That helps support these broadcasts, and it means that you won't have to watch any ads for the whole next month. It's going to be pretty good. I'll be out in Utah doing field work and streaming the next time you have to see an ad on this channel. That's pretty great. Yeah. I can't believe we're already halfway through our season here in Wyoming. Well, I can. I was going to say time flies, but it feels like we've been out here 18 days so far. Feels like exactly 18 days. I think I'm paying too much attention to the countdown there, and I have to update the title for every stream, too. This is our 17th day of digging, our 18th day out here in Wyoming. Yeah. Anywho. Yeah. And Upstairs Down wants to know, are there any dinosaurs that didn't lay eggs but had live young? That's an excellent question. I was actually talking about this with Jim Kirkland a little while ago. All of the dinosaurs that are around today, birds, every species of them lay eggs. So none of them are viviparous. None of them give birth to live young. They are instead oviparous. They lay eggs. As far as we know, based on the information we have, all dinosaurs during the Mesozoic era also laid eggs. All species of dinosaur were oviparous. But there are still some groups of dinosaurs that we don't have any eggs from. We assume that they did lay eggs, or we presume, we hypothesize that they laid eggs too. But back in the 70s and 80s, I guess, Bob Bacher had this idea that maybe some of the big diplodocid sauropods, maybe they gave birth to live young, because they've got really big pelvic apertures, and nobody's ever found any eggs from them, not yet at least. But I have my doubts. That's the thing, is that would be like a really weird special kind of adaptation that doesn't seem to have ever evolved again in any dinosaurs. But on the other hand, when we look at the other side of the extant phylogenetic bracket, moving away from birds, who are dinosaurs, to the dinosaurs' other closest living relatives, crocs, we do have crocs during the Mesozoic who gave birth to live young, we think. Things like those seagoing crocs, like Matriarhynchids. We think that they probably gave birth to live young in the water. They didn't have to come up onto land to lay eggs like sea turtles do today. They seem to have developed viviparity, giving birth to live young in the water column, which is really neat. Yeah. Oh, and who have we got here? Have we got a raid? My goodness. 394 raiders from Police Chase Network. Welcome, everybody, to Paleontologizing. Holy moly, I'm broadcasting to you live from remote Wyoming. We're here in the southern part of the state, excavating fossils from the age of dinosaurs. I can go show you a dinosaur bone in a second, but mostly today we're going to be digging up fossil plants, and then we've got some microvertebrates as well, and some kind of macrovertebrates too. But welcome, everybody. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and yeah, I study dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are what I publish on in the scientific literature, what I present on at scientific conferences, what I talk about here on Twitch, most days every week, 7 days every week when I'm out here in the field. We're doing paleontological fieldwork and streaming it by the magic of satellite internet and solar power. So, yeah, I'm glad you're here. Let's go take a look down there real quick. But yeah, Captron says the dinosaur man. I guess you can call me that if you want to. Yeah. It's great to have you here. Let me know if you've got any questions too. That's the beauty of Twitch, is this interactivity. I'm here to answer your questions and to kind of show you how we do our work firsthand. I prefer to show rather than just telling. So that's how this works. Let's take a look at this jacket here. So this is a protective burlap and plaster cocoon that we put around some of the larger fossils in order to get them safely out of the ground and safely to the laboratory. So earlier, Fisher and Ava and I, here's Fisher and there's Ava, we flipped this thing over so we could get to the underside and start covering away more of the rock, and we were really scared. It's in this really, really friable coal down here. The stuff is coal from an ancient swamp, and this stuff was just spilling out of the bottom, so there was a chance that, you know, the fossil would have just poured out through the bottom into a million pieces, and we would have been pretty well hosed.
Yeah. You guys can see that, like, this dinosaur rib here was basically right on top of the coal layer.
Yeah, shoot.
And so if all that came out, then this could have come out with it. But we were lucky. There was a lot of loose coal in here when we first flipped it. I had to brush away and clean up, but I didn't find almost any bone smell. I'm pretty sure that all of this trabecular bone that you see here, kind of in like the dark brown, which is the internal part of the bone, is a result of natural weathering, because there were a number of rodent burrows that were going directly underneath this jacket. So I imagine what happened is they dug in and undercut this dinosaur rib a little bit.
They thought they were helping, but
yeah, I mean,
they were not really helping.
They were actually doing something quite similar to something that Jim talks about for like a poaching method in like the Morrison.
Yeah.
Dig underneath quarries and take things out from underneath. And it's clearly, as you can see here, not a very effective method at getting bones out safely.
Yep.
But luckily for us, this is definitely like the least important specimen within this block. So we've got a crocodilian skull probably, and part of the back of the Melvius skull.
It's a bowfin, one of these
Here's
cool
one of the
predatory
vertebrae
fishes.
of
I was showing that earlier.
Of Melvius, which we found as like a little bonus in here.
Bonus bone. But yeah, this is a dinosaur rib again, to emphasize that. I can use my laser pointer. Fancy, right? Look at that. Dinosaur rib going through here.
There's some poking out over here too.
And then, is that the rib head over there?
No, I think this is the rib head.
Oh, the head is right
here. Looking at
right
the way
there,
the way it curves, hockey stick.
Nice. So, one of our first dinosaur elements from this quarry, actually. We are here on a dinosaur dig, but we're not just collecting dinosaurs. Anything that can tell us about what this ancient environment was like, who was living in this ecosystem, the flora and the fauna, plants and animals. So, it's all important stuff.
The fish are more typical of this location. So here's another look at that. This is quite small for a Melvius vertebra. It's probably pretty close to the head, but they get about maybe twice or 2.5 times this size. And then earlier today, Josh got a trianticid costal out from over there.
Yeah.
He's down there gluing right now.
Oh, we already got it out?
Yeah.
Nice, some turtle shell.
Happy to show that.
That'd be awesome, yeah. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool.
Put a big demonstration on over there. Grab some of
And, we've got some other questions here. I'll try and answer those in a minute. But, yeah. Oh, there we go, nice. Big old chunk. So this site is called Turtle Hill on account of all the turtle remains that have been found here. Check that out, nice. Big old chunk of turtle.
Yeah.
So I'll point to the outline here. There is the outline, and you can see that texture. It almost reminds me of like a basketball.
Yeah, basketball or golf ball. It's
yeah.
For the soft shell turtles.
So trianichids are the soft shell turtles. They're still around today. Yeah. And this guy is about 73 million years old from the age of the dinosaurs. From almost the end of the age of dinosaurs.
This is quite large for a turtle shell here too, because this is one individual costal element.
Very nice. So this is from the plastron, the chest plate?
I'm not sure. I would guess.
Actually, it could be carapace. I guess these guys don't have very round shells.
Given that there's not any sort of like rib indentation or whatever, I'm guessing it's probably carapace or plastron.
Nice. How are we gonna?
So yeah, what's gonna happen is I'm going to first and foremost. That's why I brought down this with me.
Oh, it's a dig. Nice. For glue there in the cracks.
Yeah, and so all the back of this has already been coated in thin super glue to make sure that it doesn't just crumble. But I want to go ahead and fill in the crack with some thick.
Nice.
To just make extra sure
Thick
that
with
we're
2
going to
C's.
be exactly. Yeah, that's what we have written on the bottle too. You know it.
Excellent.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
And we're gonna coat that, and we're gonna let it dry for a while. You know, it's always good to be a little excessive with it too.
Yeah.
You know, better safe
Better
than
too
sorry.
much than too little.
Exactly. And then the next step after this will be to catalog it and then wrap it up in toilet paper and paper towels, and then put it away in our specimen.
Yeah, here, let me show that specimen tote right here. The number of specimens we have from our animals part of Turtle Hill, not the plants part. That's right
empty
here.
right now. We got.
Oh, did you take it? Oh, nice, okay. Took that down earlier this week?
This is the rest of the knit rib from
Nice.
the jacket up there.
Dinosaur
I got this
rib in
out,
there?
out yesterday.
Beautiful.
You can see like the numbering system,
Uh-huh.
the lower bone bed, the date.
Nice. Good stuff. Yeah. Look at all the condensation in there.
Yeah, I know.
We should probably leave that open for a
I
minute.
agree.
Yeah. Well, cool. This was like almost filled to the brim the other day when I saw it.
Yeah, we had some volunteers come up here and bring all the fossils down.
Very nice.
So right now we mostly just have the sediment bags and then a couple of wrapped fossils.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Fish.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, Fisher McDermott, everybody. So yeah, let me get to some of those questions. If I missed one of your questions earlier, chat, please retype it, and I want to give you some personalized attention. But yeah. And there you go, Alexander Morrison. Yeah, hopefully it is a new kind of croc. That would be really exciting. Again, I don't know what crocs are doing around this time, around the Campanian-Maastrichtian boundary, about 73 million years ago. But there's a chance that we've got something new here, you know, which would be really, really cool. We do think that the dinosaurs that we're digging up are probably new, just based on the exact age that we're at. But we won't know until we actually get them back to the laboratory and clean them up. Yeah. Good stuff. Again, type your questions back in if you've got them. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Jared Fox says, how tall were raptors? If you mean dromaeosaurs, like Velociraptor or Deinonychus or Utahraptor, they vary in size. So Utahraptor is the biggest dromaeosaur that we know about, and it would be taller than me. That's an animal like about as big as I was going to say about as big as a polar bear, but they're a lot more thin and lightweight than a polar bear, and they'd be a lot faster too, probably. Whereas Velociraptor is a lot smaller than that. Velociraptor is going to be, I don't know, about the size of, people say turkey, but they're bigger than that, and they've got a much longer tail. I'd say Velociraptor is about the size of like a border collie or something. Yeah, but again, longer. Got a long, thin tail. So Velociraptor itself is much smaller than you see in or Jurassic World. Those are not actually Velociraptor. They're based on another dinosaur called Deinonychus. It's kind of a long story, but the Velociraptors from Jurassic Park are not Velociraptor. They're Deinonychus. Yeah, and let's see. Were there terrestrial crocs in the south then? There were in the southern hemisphere at this time in the late Cretaceous. Yeah, you had, Notosuchians, I think, in places like Argentina around this time. I don't know if we have any from North America yet. Yeah, I think they're all Gondwanan from southern continents. Edward Anonymous, no, Sam Squanch footprints. Sorry. Is that Bubbles there in the chat? Yeah. Let's see. And from Kai1, what is the rarest dinosaur bone you've ever found? The rarest dinosaur bone I've ever found. Again, this is going to be a repeat. Like, I answer a lot of the questions with the same answer. It's going to be from the Daniceratops site. I found a new kind of ceratopsian dinosaur back in 2012. It's not been published yet, but it will be hopefully in the next few years. But that's the only example of that particular species ever found. So just by definition, it would be, the whole thing is rare. Yeah. It's a Chasmosaurine ceratopsid from the Judith River Formation, about 79 million years old. And that should get published hopefully in the next few years. I'm very excited about that. And hey, how are things? And how do you know where to dig? That's a good question too. Oh, and did that one have horns? We didn't find the horns on that one, RB42, but we found elements of the frill, which is really important. So that's what we can name it based off of. How do we find these fossils in the first place? This is a question that I get pretty much every stream because it's a good one. Here, I can give you a little bit of background. Let me grab my my visuals here out of this box. I think they're in here. Bingo. Yeah. Nice. So, these rocks that we're digging in are part of a geological unit that we call the Almond Formation. So, different ages of rocks, sedimentary rocks, get labeled with different formation names. Just a whole bunch of rocks that kind of represents a particular time and place. The Almond Formation here in southern Wyoming represents rocks about 79 million years old. And our planet looked very, very different at that time. Wyoming in particular looked very, very different at that time. You look out at this landscape now, and we've got hills and mountains and broad valleys like this. We're at about 6,000 or 7,000 feet elevation. So the air is pretty thin up here. Enough so that when we have volunteers who come in from the coasts, from sea level, they stand a risk of getting altitude sickness for the first few days. And we had that a couple times this season so far. That's what this landscape looks like today. Kind of a high desert environment, very dry, hot during the summer, very, very cold during the winter. High elevation. It looked completely different 73 million years ago. And we can tell this from the rock that we find in them. At this time, 73 million years ago, North America would have looked like this. There was a big ocean, or a seaway rather, in the middle of North America like that. And Wyoming, which is here outlined in red, Wyoming was largely submerged under that seaway. But here where we are in southern Wyoming, this was coastline. It was sea level 73 million years ago. Basically zero elevation. It was all of that mountain building and like uplift that kind of created the landscape that we see today over tens of millions of years. But this is what it would have been like back then. So we know at this time, 73 million years ago, this would have been kind of a low coastal swamp, delta, floodplain kind of environment. And we can tell that, again, based on the rocks and the fossils. So we've got all of this coal down here at our Turtle Hill site, and this represents basically an ancient swamp. So you had lots of standing water, lots of plants and animals and stuff like that would fall in, and just all of that carbon would, basically sit there and kind of rot and get buried and become, carbon-rich coal we have here. In the layer that Josh is digging in right there, we've got the bones of fishes and turtles and other kind of swamp-loving critters. This represents probably kind of a quiet, shallow, fetid lake or something like that, these rocks here. And then we move up in sequence, slightly more recently in time. When we get up here, we get to this kind of silty mudstone up here, where we get all of these lovely plant fossils. And these plants can give us an idea about what the climate was like at this time. So we've got broadleaf trees, we've got ferns, we've got conifers, things like this. Trees that we don't have in Wyoming today, plants that do not exist in this state now. This represents a much warmer climate, much wetter. It's pretty cool how that can work, you know? We'll get back to that in a minute, but anyway, I set the background. This is what we call the Almond Formation. Now, the Almond Formation was explored back in the 1930s by this guy. His name is Barnum Brown. He's a really famous dinosaur paleontologist. He's the same guy who discovered T-Rex. Barnum Brown discovered Tyrannosaurus around 1902. In the 1930s, he came out here to Wyoming because he heard rumors of locals finding bones out here, and he started looking around for dinosaurs, and he found a whole bunch of them. He had a lot of success out here. It was difficult work, and he nearly died at one point because of just the horrendous weather that we get out here. He nearly froze to death. Interesting story. I'll tell it sometime soon, one of these streams. But yeah, Barnum Brown found a bunch of dinosaurs out here, and unfortunately, he didn't publish on any of them. Some of those specimens were lost, and the Almond Formation has kind of sat neglected ever since. But our expedition leader, Ethan Cowgill, who envisioned this whole project, he was reading through the literature, reading about Barnum Brown, going into the Almond Formation and finding dinosaurs, and he goes, why has nobody been back in, nearly 100 years? What's up with that? So he decided to come out here and explore, and by reading the rocks really carefully, making sure that he's in the Almond Formation, not the underlying like Erickson sandstone or not up in the Lewis Shale, he was able to find the right layers of rocks and start walking around, and he started finding dinosaur fossils. And then we've been coming back here for the past 5 years. This is my 3rd year out here, and there's dinosaurs all over the place. Not all over the place, but they're here, you know? The work is not easy, but it's rewarding. And so, yeah. And you're probably wondering, rather, how do you find the fossils once you know which area to look in? We had the right region. We know that we should be looking in the Almond Formation. So you look at your geological maps, you find out where those rocks are on the surface, that kind of thing. And then you do what we call prospecting. So you walk along the ground, look for anything unusual, you pick it up, you're looking for fragments of bone, or plants too. We'll be talking about that in a minute. But you look for fragments of bone, and then they're eroding out of hillsides, and you might find them at the bottom of a gully or on a cliff face or something like that. But gravity pulls them down after they erode out. So you follow them up like breadcrumbs, and you look for the source of those bones, and if you get really lucky, you might have an associated skeleton. That's how we prospect, that's how we find sites like this. Turtle Hill is so named because there are a bunch of turtle fragments here on the surface. And so they decided to dig in. I was actually here when we found the bone layer in 2023. Started to dig in there, and there's turtles, shell, there's fish bones, there's teeth of all kinds of different critters all over the place. We knew this is and we started coming back and just digging in and finding all kinds of cool stuff. And then we started finding fossil plants up here too. So, yeah. Oh, and hang on a second. I also forgot to, before we go over and ask Whitney about our plants. Katie, are you still in the chat right now? I'm sorry I missed you. I got distracted. But Katie says hi. She was watching just a minute ago.
What up, Katie?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hope you're doing well, Katie. It's good to see you. We're surviving and thriving out here. And Katie says, I am. Yeah. I don't know where Ava went. She's probably doing some geology right now. But Ava's doing well too, and she says hi. She would say hi if she knew you were watching. Sorry, that's my fault.
She'd probably be cheering. She'd be like, Katie! She'd be really excited.
Nice. Anyway, Katie, I hope you're doing well. And Sourdough says, I really dig this stream. Haha, get it? You get it. Quiet, you. Yeah. And glad everyone's doing well? Yeah. We're about halfway through now. More than halfway through, actually. But yeah, and Tempted Guy says, what other experts would you need out there in order to search for fossils? Let's go talk to one right now. We've got Whitney here, who is our paleobotanist. And she's here. This is her last day here. So that's why I'm here at the site, so we can sharing her expertise
Can I see
here.
this one?
Holy cow, look at that. My goodness, look at those veins. That is beautiful. Holy moly.
Yeah, lucky split.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Shoot. Nice. Yeah, so Whitney, tell us a little bit about these fossil plants we're finding in the almond formation and why they're important.
So we're finding mostly angiosperms, which are like flowering plants, like your basic, trees.
Yeah. So most plants today, species-wise, are flowering plants, angiosperms, right?
Yeah. So we get a lot of dicot leaves, which are like this. This is like a leaf you'd pick up from a tree on the ground. A leaf that was on the ground from a tree.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about these plants is that we can, measure the margins and how jagged they are, or the vein density, or the size of the leaf, or a bunch of other factors to learn about what kind of climates these plants lived in.
Nice.
And then we get a whole bunch of plants. We have hundreds of plants from this quarry, and then you get a really good picture of what plant life lived there and how diverse it was, and what water needs they had, and how much CO2 was in the atmosphere and oxygen, and we can get all that from these plants.
So how are plants a better indicator of local climate than, say, dinosaurs?
Well, I think that one plant is going to be just as helpful as one dinosaur.
Okay.
Give or take. Depends on who you ask, I'm sure. But we get to see a really a much more clear picture of the ecosystem as a whole, and how things are working together, which just kind of gives you a better idea. If we were to find one type of plant here and then that's it, then we wouldn't be learning quite as much. But if you go into a forest that's, sorry, I'm not even making sense right now.
No, you are. This is great.
If you walk into a forest that's much more diverse and you see a bunch of different plants, you learn how they interact and the relationships between them, and much more about the climate than if we just had
Sure.
one.
You kind of know that it's not like a fluke. It's like if you find a bunch of different plants with similar adaptations in an area, that kind of gives you a sense for this is a cold weather environment or a warm weather environment, or really wet or really dry, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and plants are something that obviously we have all around us today.
Yeah.
And they make a really good model for things we see in the past. Plants have been doing pretty much, the same things forever, basically. So
if you find a leaf shape here, you can kind of match that to a leaf shape on a modern plant and go, oh, well, this is a desert environment, or this is a rainforest, or something like that.
exactly.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Thanks, Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're speaking of fossil plants here. Can we show this off real quick?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look great right now. It's a leaf. There's plastic on it to keep it safe, although it's peeling up.
This is a brand new tattoo as of last night.
Yeah, I think it's been 13 hours. But yeah, it's got it's a tattoo of a leaf we found last year.
Nice.
That I had a photo of that is really beautiful. So a little piece of the almond with me forever.
That's awesome. And Josh freehanded that, right?
Yeah, he just.
That's fantastic.
My phone and he drew it on my arm and
That is
then
so cool.
went with it. So yeah, I could show it again when it's not
when you come back in a few weeks,
yeah.
We'll take a
For
look
sure.
at that. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I should explain that. Why does she have a fresh tattoo? Whitney did not go into town last night. Did not visit a tattoo parlor. We had the tattoo artist come to us. Ethan Cowgill, who's our expedition lead, his brother is a professional tattoo artist. And we've kind of got a new tradition going. Started last year, where he brings his portable tattoo art setup out to the field, and then any crew members who want a free tattoo can get one. Whitney is actually really special. She's the first one who got one that wasn't an almond. It's a leaf from the almond formation, but last summer a whole bunch of us got this. Let me show you. Right there. Other people have theirs on their wrists or on their ankles or on their back or behind an ear. Mine's right here on my thigh. I had a birthmark right here since I was a little kid, and it was starting to fade, and I was really sad about that. So I'm like, Josh, put it here where the birthmark is. So it'll be there forever. Almond Brothers. We've got almond tattoos, and Whitney's got a leaf from the almond formation. That's pretty special. So yeah, shout out to, oh goodness, what is his, what's the tattoo shop called? What's his Instagram? Does anybody remember? I think it's like Josh Warner something. Shoot. Getting his Insta now. Thank you, Lenina. Yeah. But yeah, we'll get it.
Salt Lake City based.
Yeah, in Salt Lake City. If you look up Josh tattoo artist Salt Lake City, you might find him. But yeah. Us have got the almond tattoo so far, but there were like, how many people do you think got it last night? Like 6, 7?
I think it was closer to.
There was
9
Peter.
or 10.
9 or 10?
Yeah.
Awesome. We're growing in numbers.
I remember
Yeah.
we hit 7, and then at some point we stopped counting, and there were more, but I don't know how many more.
Nice. You were the last one, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So, yeah, that was my first and so far only tattoo. Mine's in pretty good shape. Fisher's got one as well. Maybe we can go take a look at that real quick. But yeah. And oh, Claire Burr says, tell Whitney she has preloaded followers if she starts streaming. Yeah, you've got an audience. Or do you have like an Instagram or anything like that you want to plug?
I mean, I don't. It's just like my personal Instagram.
Do you want more followers there? Or are you good?
You can follow me if
Yeah?
you want. Don't expect anything special. I don't do any outreach.
Okay.
It's whitney.greaves.bell.
Okay.
You'll find it.
Whitney.greaves.bell.
I think it might be a private account.
Okay. Well. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's go see Fisher's almond tattoo. We'll see how much filthier it is than mine. Let's see. Hey Fisher, can we bother you for a second? Where's your almond tattoo? Oh, nice. Yeah, look at that right there. And then Josh, did you get one as well?
I did. I got
You got
one
it last night?
I did.
Nice.
It's pretty
Look at that.
crunched up because of the new skin.
Yeah.
It looked great.
It's gonna look great.
It's gonna look great.
Yeah, it's a lot darker than mine.
I think
mean,
that's just the ink that's been like.
That makes
smeared
sense.
around.
Yeah. But yeah, very cool. Almond Brothers.
Almond Brothers.
Forever.
We're gonna have to like take some pictures at conferences and stuff when we get together. Do you ever go to SVP, or are you more on the geological side of things?
Probably more on the geological side of things.
Fair,
but
yeah.
I imagine I'll take an anatomy class at some point.
Nice.
And want to go to SBB.
Cool. Maybe you'll see it at GSA one of these days or something.
I would
If
love
I ever
to.
go to GSA, yeah.
By the way, Danny, when you get the chance,
Yeah.
bring the little saw blade.
Let me get that for you. Yeah, sorry, Fish. Forgot about that. Getting distracted. Yeah. And Aleppo says no Sanoderm. No, there's a plastic film over that. No, Josh is a professional. Well, this Josh is a professional, but Josh, the tattoo artist, Ethan's brother, also a professional. We're, it might seem like we're roughing it out here, but he had all the proper equipment with him. It's pretty cool to see. Ethan has collected a good bunch of folks, absolutely, Lenina, and Ash, definitely. And imagine the tattoo they would do for a lance formation assignment. Yeah, I guess it would have to be a lance, huh? Yeah, something like the Hell Creek fieldwork would be more difficult. How do you draw a Hell Creek? Probably just have to write it out. All right, let's get that saw for Fisher so he can start working on trimming down that jacket. Got my multi-tool in here. Let's check on our battery as well. How we doing? 40%. Oh boy, so we've got about 2 hours left. Should be good. Take us till almost 5 o'clock. Anywho. But did we actually get the link for Josh Warner Cowgill's Instagram page? We did. Excellent. Good. Oh no, for Josh. There we go. Atticus Warner tattoos. That's it. Thank you, Lenina. Beautiful. Yeah, if anybody's in the Salt Lake area or anywhere near there, if you're in the Rocky Mountain region and you're looking for a tattoo, yeah, I can recommend Josh. He's a pro. All right, here we go, fish.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. Let me find it for you. Should be. That's not it. This side. Gah. There we are.
I'm always prepared for anything.
That should do it. Look at those teeth.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice.
Wow. Thanks, Danny.
You're welcome, Fisher. So Fisher's going to be trimming off the excess plaster around the edge of that jacket so we can make it stronger and yeah, more effectively get that fossil back to the lab without damaging it. Yeah, good stuff. And Jigaback says, how high above sea level are you now? About 6,000 or 7,000 feet. I'm not sure exactly the figure, but yeah, above 6,000 feet for sure. Probably close to 7. And Swiss knife. Now this is a SOG. My brother got this for me actually. It's a Christmas present from like 15 years ago probably. Been using this for a long time. It's a good little tool. So nice, I got myself a second one. I had a camera issue for a second there. Hopefully we're back on. All right, excellent. Good. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Sorry about that. Hopefully that's resolved. Yeah, excellent. Whitney was just saying she's having some crazy luck over here finding some leaves. Holy cow!
Every piece, I'm trying to uncover this one, and every piece is just giving me new leaves. So I pulled these two out from right here.
Nice.
Which is like, I don't know if you want to get your camera
look
in
at
there
that.
a little. The leaves are awesome, or the veins are awesome.
Holy cow!
And
That is
then
beautiful.
I have one popped from right here,
Uh-huh.
so this is the same one. Big one starting here.
Very nice.
And then these three are all pieces that were popped off.
Uh-huh.
So now I
This
don't
is
know
nuts.
which order to go in.
Yeah, shoot. Just an embarrassment
And then
of
there's
riches.
another, I don't know if you saw, there's another leaf right there under there.
That is so cool. Holy moly. Wow, can I help you wrap any of these or?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
whatever. Okay.
Very
I don't
cool.
know, I might see if I can get, I don't know if any of them are ready to be wrapped until I have all the pieces of them yet.
Don't let me distract you too. I know you've
You're
got a
not
lot to back of right now.
It's all good. Find no more leaves until I have these ones out, which I don't think is gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
I think we'll see.
Yeah, just let me know what I can do to help. If
I don't
there's
know if you
anything.
want to. I don't know if we'll a cool camera moment if we can. Okay, so that's nothing. That's just coal dust.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just gonna slowly work this back.
Nice.
We'll see what happens.
Earlier, Paul was likening this to like a slot machine where it's like.
He was like, I'm not finding much over here. He was working right here.
Shoot.
So,
Yeah.
whatever. Some people. It's all luck based, I feel like.
Man, I think it's really funny how much chat hates the idea of just blowing with your lungs on this instead of having like a big electronic device or something like that to do it. But
You know, if it ain't broke.
exactly, yeah. It's like if you were to carry something big around like that to, you know, blow air onto it, that would be less room that you have in your pack to, you know, be able to carry back specimens and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, you know, there's something about it. Maybe, I don't know how long a can of compressed air lasts.
I don't think it's very long.
Okay. There's more leaves.
More leaves. Nice. Look at that.
There's one right here.
Not quite as pretty, but they're there.
No, they're there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
That one's pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this. It's got the veins on it right there. And that's the counterpart right there, right? Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Okay. This is one we can, these two pieces are one we can wrap up.
Nice.
Now that they're out.
Cool. Fantastic. All right, let's go wrap these up. I will put the camera down so I can help. We'll see what I learned yesterday, whether the skills have stuck with me or whether I've lost them. Put that right there. Do I want to open a brand new one?
With it windy, those little ones just fly away, so we don't have to use those unless, I mean, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. If it's hard, we can, like, I can hold it and we can wrap or whatever.
All right, do this one here?
Yeah.
Nice, okay. So, take a big gob of it right here and stick it right over the leaf, as I've been told how to do. And then start mummifying.
It's just windy enough where this is like a little bit hard.
Right.
But I don't know, I feel like it's better than the sun and bugs we were experiencing earlier.
It's worse for my solar panel, but
oh yeah, no kidding.
It's definitely better for, you know, me in general. So we're wrapping these up in order to make sure that they don't crumble or knock against each other and destroy each other as they're being transported. There's sharp edges on some of these too. You don't want those poking the other fossils. I wonder who it was who first devised this method. I know it doesn't seem super, like, I think we've got a pretty decent idea of, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Of who figured out how to do plaster jacketing on fossils.
Who was that?
It was somebody on Othniel Charles Marsh's cruise during the Bone Wars. It might have been, oh shoot, what was his name? Ken typed his name into the chat yesterday or the day before. Like Fisk or somebody like that, who was one of the field hands who had been, he'd fought in the Civil War as a, I think he was a medic, I think.
That's cool. I mean, that makes sense if he's used to plastering.
Setting broken limbs and stuff like that, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I, like, recently was with some paleobotanists, and someone was like, oh yeah, we'll just wrap them in newspaper. So that was the moment I learned that not everyone does this. I was
interesting. Okay, so this is not a universal method here.
We can keep going if you want. It just broke.
What do you think? Is it good enough?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, excellent. All right, grab our tape. Here it is. Nice.
Where's the Sharpie too? Maybe it just depends if that you're used to working in different rocks, but I was like, newspaper? Hello?
I've worked with people who use, instead of burlap, they use fiberglass strips in the field for jackets.
In the field is crazy.
Which
I've
is
seen that
nuts.
in like
You use it sometimes for making cradles, like in collections or whatever. Yeah.
That just sounds like a good way to get a lot of itchy,
it's miserable,
bad skin reactions. And in the
but they're like, it's so much more durable. It's like, you don't want it to be durable. What do you like? You want to be able to cut through it easily in the lab when you get back.
That's crazy.
All right, 25 dash
46.
46.
And that would be A.
A. Do you do a lowercase or you do lowercase a?
Well, Paul does lowercase, I do capitals. I really don't think it matters.
Okay, I'll do capitals. All right. There we go. Little baby mummy here. Very nice. So again, all these fossils are going to be going to the Cincinnati Museum of Natural History in Cincinnati, Ohio, where they will be held in the public trust for hopefully hundreds or thousands of years into the future. For as long as there is a human race, hopefully the Cincinnati Museum will be standing tall and proud.
Fun science in museums.
Yeah. Oh, Marshall P. Felch, that's the name. Thank you, Paleontologist VA. Yeah, Marshall P. Felch. That's the guy who you're told came up with the idea of jacketing fossils in the field.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah, Michael Phelps himself. And Cool Island Sun. Doug in the chat. How you doing, Doug? It's good to see you. Hope you and Edie are doing just fine. We miss you, man. Miss both of you. Doug says, I also prefer toilet paper for separator, using paper towels for large areas instead. Nice. Yeah. And Ken says, possibly. Yeah. I think we don't really know for certain who came up with the idea of plaster jacketing, because that sort of thing wouldn't have really been documented, but yeah, I'm sure it can be surmised from from written accounts and stuff like that at the time. And Tempted Guy, thank you so much for subscribing with Prime. I appreciate that. Thanks for supporting Science Outreach here on Twitch. That's great. Excellent, excellent. Yeah. Let's get this retracted a bit. And these clouds are really nice, but they're not great for powering my whole setup here. This will be a shorter stream today, I think, by at least a little bit. Might wrap a little bit early today. And let me get some water. Set this down. Tempted Guy says, great stream to watch while working. Thanks. It's a great stream to stream while working for me. I'm glad I can help make your workday a little bit more interesting, hopefully. Water's nice and cool. Yeah. And Paleontologist VA says some are going to the Carnegie Museum of Natural History in Pittsburgh, yeah. But all these plants are going to Cincinnati. We've got an agreement with them, and they've very kindly agreed to use some of their resources to curate these fossil plants. Science will always be more interesting. Fair, Tempted Guy, fair. Yeah. And I don't know if I could convince other members of the crew to pedal a bike to power the satellite dish. Yeah. I think I just need to be better about charging this thing up in the morning when there's sun. I was charging my other batteries today too, you know. A lot of folks rely on me for having juice for them to charge their phones and stuff. So I gotta make sure that I've got all three of my batteries as charged up as I can get them. Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, what are we at right now? We were what, at 40% or something? Let's see. Oh, okay. Are we back? Okay. Sorry about that. Some more like satellite issues there. Let's see. Anywho. Those of you who stuck around, thank you. We're going to take some more questions and look at some more fossils and get some more plants here. Yeah, good stuff. And Ash says, how many more days or weeks will we have of dig streams? So we've got 2 more weeks out here in Wyoming. And then I'm going to Michigan and then California. We might take about a week off while I'm in Michigan. I'll try and stream every day, mostly every day when I'm back in California. Then July 15th, we're heading back out to Utah. I'm going to try and stream every single day there between July 15th and maybe about August 10th or so. So that'll be 3 weeks, could be a month, we'll see. And then after that, going back home to California for a while. And with any luck, I'll be returning to Utah for more digging at a big, cool ankylosaur bone bed. It's actually the same one that you'll see in Walking with Dinosaurs, if you're going to be watching that. I think it's episode 2 or 3. Now look at that real quick. PBS Walking with Dinosaurs. There we go. We were going to do a camp stream one of these nights where we on the crew go back to camp and have a watch party. I'll see if I can stream that, watching Walking with Dinosaurs. Some of our crew members are actually going to be there on the show. Yeah, so let's see. Special clips and previews. I think we've only got... Nope, that's not it. Watch now.
There are secrets buried in time. Until now.
Gotta sign in. Give me a second here. Continue. If all the episodes are live right now, then we might do that watch party tonight. If they're not, we might have to wait a couple nights. We want to watch the one that our crew members are actually in. So Whitney is actually in one of the episodes, along with Ethan Cowgill. Walking with Dinosaurs. There are no titles matching this search. It might be tonight that it premieres. Oh. Yeah, 8/7 Central. Okay. So, yeah. That should be a lot of fun. There. First 2 episodes are tonight, says Nelf. Okay. Yeah, and I'm not going to be doing field work in Michigan, Okergar. That's just like vacation time, basically. Hopefully much deserved after a whole month out in the field here. Probably with no shower, we'll see. Maybe I'll get lucky, I'll get a chance to take a shower. Yeah. And you got a link there. Thank you, Claire. Yeah, that's exactly the same. The episodes aren't live right now. I guess that'll be tonight that they go live on pbs.com. Yeah. Excellent. And episode 3 is Utah. Thank you, Niffler. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that'll probably be, what, tomorrow night, maybe? We'll see. Let's go have... There we go. Let's go see what the Turtle Hill boys are up to down there. Cover up my water bottle so it doesn't heat up in the sun. And you're welcome, Casey. Thanks for tuning in and watching. I appreciate it. Yeah. And Funny Bunny says, Michigan, everyone's destination getaway? I mean, for me, it is. Being out there on the beach for a whole week, it's going to be really nice. I'm really looking forward to that. Lake Michigan is beautiful this time of year. I wouldn't want to be there during the winter, though. Yeah. So here, we've got some cataloging going on.
We are working on getting things wrapped and put away.
Nice.
One of the more tedious aspects of the work here.
So Fisher's got a field notebook right there. He's writing down specimen numbers, making sure that everything matches up.
So,
I gotta add the one that I just.
Yeah.
so this is the system.
And Mizart Rule says, any new turtles? Yeah, we had one earlier. I think maybe you missed it.
This is one right here.
Turtle right there.
So here's the system we use, which we have TH25, so the location and the year, the number, so 118, what it is. This is the costal element or part of the ribs of a trionicid or a soft shell turtle. We have the layer it was found in the lower bone bed, and then the date.
Excellent.
And so we'll copy a lot of that information into the field notebook as well, just so we can keep track of which specimen we're on and what day it was found on.
Excellent.
Fisher, do you want me to label that?
Good stuff. So we've got some in here.
Yeah.
This bin recently got cleared out, but this was like filled to the brim. It's funny, we've got wasps in here. They can smell the moisture, and they're attracted to all these bright colors. Not a whole lot of naturally occurring blue in this environment here. So they see this and they're like, "Oh boys, flowers or something?" Nope. Sorry, boy. Sorry. Actually, they're probably not boys, huh? They're wasps. They might be females, just like with honeybees.
Likely. I don't know which wasp species are social and which aren't.
Yeah.
Usually with a hymenopteran, if I see it in the wild, I assume it's a female.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a breeding ball of ants, which I know you're...
The Danny ants, oh boy. Sorry. But yeah. Oh, Charlie's Dragon says lots of Finnish flags going on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're big fans of Finland around here.
Yeah.
Now that's the color masking tape we got, and yeah.
I do like Finnish polka.
Nice.
So.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah. But yeah, and Rhacodactylus says that's why I could never do field work. I'm deathly allergic and can't risk it. Ooh boy. Yeah. There's lots of things like that do keep certain people out of the field.
I mean, it all depends on location too.
Yeah.
I mean, you could work in the Arabian Peninsula or something.
There's no
Antarctic.
Yeah.
there's no wasps on the Arabian Peninsula?
I doubt it, given that it's a huge, true desert.
Interesting.
We're in a semi-desert here, or
Right.
like a high, badlands, plains. There's all these plants to feed on. But
Well, if you want to go to beautiful sunny Saudi Arabia, Rhacodactylus, there might be no bees or wasps there.
Fossil formations are there. I know they have like Miocene stuff.
They do have Mesozoic marine there, but I don't know if anybody's really working on it.
It's a tough part of the world. to
Yeah,
work in
it
politically,
is.
right? So,
Yeah. And just, it gets hot. Yeah.
I guess Egypt. We have Egyptian paleontologist friends.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Shout out Bilal. Yeah.
Shut up a lot.
Thanks, Josh. Nice. We had a question, what kind of vertebrates do we get in this formation from, who is that, Dire Beast Rex? Yeah, well, we've got, from this site right here, we've got turtles. We've got freshwater fishes like these bowfin, these ameids, Melvius. We've got, well, there's a fossil mammal tooth that we have now back in camp, which is really exciting. We get various kinds of dinosaurs. We're finding a lot of duckbill dinosaurs out here, but we've also got a ceratopsian site, a horned dinosaur. We've got an ankylosaur that's being worked right now, an armored dinosaur. And yeah, we're still hoping that we get tyrannosaurs, dromaeosaurs, ornithomimosaurs, maybe some thescelosaurs or pachycephalosaurs. They should be around here. They're in similarly aged formations from the Cretaceous of North America, but we haven't found any here in the almond yet. So yeah, a nice smattering of different vertebrates. Also things like chondrichthyan fishes. We get teeth from rays and other batoid chondrichthyans, stuff like that. So yeah, any chance for a sauropod? Not likely, RB42. We think sauropods are extinct in North America at this time. It could be that Alamosaurus is already making its way into the south by about the Campanian-Maastrichtian boundary, but we're not sure. We definitely don't have any sauropod material this far north in North America from the Cretaceous. You just don't find it. Yeah, I think it's probably later that Alamosaurus makes its way up from the south and yeah, does its thing. But you don't get them up north. There's no Alamosaurus from the Hell Creek. Yeah, none of it from anywhere up in Canada either. Just don't get it. Yeah. And Starmy says, I notice that, hang on. That recording of information with these animals is far more detailed than the leaves. Is that for a reason? Not really. I guess it's like, with the leaves, you have the specimens, they're labeled themselves, but we don't have like an information book for them. I think it's just like, you know, Whitney and Paul are only here for a few days, so their time is a lot more precious. And so they're just trying to collect as many specimens as they... Yeah, does that make sense? We can actually go ask about that real quick. And when Fisher moves near you, tell me he needs to come do a co-stream with you. We'll try and do that, Niffler, yeah. That'd be really cool. See about doing that. Maybe we'll go to the zoo or something. But yeah. Assisting Whitney, and nice. I like the crowbar method there.
Yeah. My dispenser.
There you go, yeah.
We just pulled this one up.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, these are some
Look
nice
at those. Wow, that was the cha-ching that I heard.
Yeah. Right here.
Look at that. Look at those veins right there. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Well,
5
this
leaves. Oh, nice. Okay, that's a separate one.
This is the
so
counterpart
delicate.
of
Shoot.
this one. I know. I'm like,
How are
I
you
don't
gonna
know.
wrap that?
I don't think we will.
Oh man.
I think we can try,
Oh,
but
we're gonna try.
it's like paper thin. Like I'm
That's
scared
nuts,
the wind
yeah.
is gonna blow it out of my hand.
Right.
They might pick it up
But
off
we'll
that
see,
rock,
you know.
too.
Wow. I wonder if... Do you just need to get it... Well, you might not be going back to camp. How could we get that
Honestly,
out?
it's like,
Do we have like a piece of cardboard or a piece of
these-
wood?
you know, it's not flat enough. Like there's still
Shoot.
bumps. Like,
Yeah.
and it gets thinner on the edges.
So if you try to strap it to
Yeah.
a piece of wood, it's gonna crack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
darn.
you know, honestly, these are the main two leaves I'm interested in.
Uh-huh.
They're both in this side, and
Yeah.
like we'll prep out. So
Nice.
I think we're just gonna take the big piece.
Right, okay. Yeah. Wow.
Avoid someone from trying to glue like 8 pieces of paper rock
Exactly,
together
yeah.
in the future.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Save an intern.
Yep. And I mean, with the time you'd spend doing that, you could find 5 more leaves potentially.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Yeah. Somebody in chat was asking about that too. Like, why does it seem like the note taking is so much more detailed down there than it is up here for the leaves? And I explained that like you're only here for what, 3 days, and so you've got much less time to, you know, spend writing down notes and stuff like that. Just labeling the specimen should be enough, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm sure that like, I mean, I think more notes and info is always more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But with this quarry, it's just like a big chunk of rock with leaves in it, and there isn't much differentiation. You know,
Gotcha.
we're finding the same types of leaves all the
Yeah.
way through, laterally, vertically,
So
which
it-
isn't the case down there where like the rock layer is changing every few centimeters.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a
And
lot of
so-
stratification down there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Good answer. Yeah.
yeah.
I buy it.
One good paragraph about this quarry is all you'd need.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Another thing too, I think, is that when we started digging here a few years ago, didn't really like make a map or anything like that, and we're just kind of continuing with that, which is fine. Yeah. And Diagonal wants to know, oh, hey, how are you doing on the Diagonal? This is just a stream for you. Found any ferns or cycad fossils? We do have some ferns. No cycads yet, I don't think.
Nope, no cycads.
But tell us about the ferns that you've seen here. We've got a fossil plant expert in the chat, too.
A couple of ferns, and I don't know, like, the genus or species. But yeah, only like fragments of one type of fern so far. But I know there's a collection at the Denver Museum of like almost exclusively ferns.
From the almond formation?
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah. But they're not really here, and I don't know if that's just a preservational thing.
Yeah.
Or not. I wish I like could tell you more about the fern that would be meaningful, but
Yeah.
It's one type of fern, and it's I don't know, I've seen it before, but I don't know the name of it.
Do you know when those were collected from the almond? Would that have been a long time ago?
I don't want to get this totally wrong,
Yeah.
but I think it was like 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Cool.
But no cycads yet.
No, Whitney did not get an almond tattoo last night. She got a fossil leaf from the
Yeah.
almond. It's right there. So, yeah, it's a good thing you're going back to civilization
I know.
today so you can get that properly.
Yeah, I've got second skin at home. I'm gonna take it
Nice.
home and clean it and rewrap it.
Excellent.
So.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I don't think someone should be sweating this much right after a tattoo.
I don't know. I certainly was when I got mine last year. And then, shoot, I had to wait like an additional 12 days or something before I could actually, go home and rewrap it.
My immune system could not handle it.
Everybody's different, yeah. And let's see. Mizard rules, how do you determine the years on leaves or other plants? So with leaves you can't, because leaves don't last that long typically. Like these are leaves that might be shed every year or something like that. So yeah, you don't know how old the tree was unless you actually find the trunk. Does that make sense? The leaves are kind of temporary. But yeah. And Ken says, shun the non-believer. Wait, what? What did I miss? Oh, because Whitney got a leaf rather than an almond. That's okay. She's entitled. She can do that. And this breeze is nice. Get that going through my hair. For anybody just joining us, welcome to very windy and beautiful Wyoming. We're digging up fossils here from the age of dinosaurs, be they fossil turtles and crocs, and even a dinosaur rib down there. Fisher's got. How's that saw working out?
It's a little slow, but it's making good progress.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
We've got one back in camp, I think.
Ethan wants this done by tonight, though. So
Yeah. Okay. We'll get it done. Yeah, and then we're collecting fossil plants over there too. We're trying to anyway. But, yeah. And Hacky for Life says, looks like a small turbine would generate some energy for you. Why don't we just bring a nuclear reactor out here? That'd be much easier. This is the thing on Twitch. Everybody's got like a technological solution to things that aren't really problems, Goodness, yeah. You're like, oh, you're a little bit thirsty? Why don't you bring a Slurpee machine out there? That would be great. No, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we already have enough gear to carry up here. It's quite the hike down from the road, up from the road rather. But yeah. Yeah, let's see how we're doing on power. Come on now. 33%. Okay. That's okay. I just need to charge that thing fully in the morning. I didn't do it today because I thought we'd be getting more sun in the afternoon, and I was wrong, but it is nice having these clouds. That is a plus, for certain. Good stuff. And Sturman says, how do paleobotanists protect giant specimens like that giant leaf? You can't imagine you'd wrap that up in toilet paper? That's one from the Green River Formation, and in that case, they probably did put glue over the top, I imagine. So one of the reasons why Whitney is not putting glue on these specimens is she needs to actually be able to study the chemistry of like the cuticle in there. And you put glue on it, you'd mess it all up. So, does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, let me put the camera down over here and I'll get back to digging. See if we can find some more leaves. I need to try and get this one out of the ground. I found this one this morning. Look at that. Pretty sweet, right? So the other part of it looks even better. It's still there in the ground. Try and get that out so that we can collect them. We don't have all that much time, so let me get... I'll probably stop if we get another big raid or something, but for now, while I've got the chance, let me get to work doing that. Left and right. Look at that. Right there. Not the prettiest, but might be worth collecting. What do you think of this guy? Just came up right now. The counterpart is pretty brittle though.
Yep.
Oh, actually that's even nicer. I think. Would that be worth collecting, or is it too fragmentary?
I think this one is. I wouldn't worry about that side.
Oh,
that
okay.
side isn't very good. Usually we'd collect both sides, but this is like already not the greatest leaf.
Okay.
But this would be one fine little one to take.
So I can wrap it?
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, maybe I'll hand it to Paul real quick. Paul, are you in wrapping mode right now?
I am.
Nice.
This is a native wrap.
All right, I got another one here.
Just the part.
Nice. Thanks, Paul. Cool. That's not product placement, chat. Ignore that. Well, wonderful layers. Definitely clear. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Really lucky to be able to do this. Nothing on that one, except for that. And nothing inside either. Huh. So what I'm trying to do is remove some of this so I can get this chunk out with this really lovely leaf there. See, this guy's not worth collecting, right?
Nope.
Okay. I know it's not pretty, but I'm not familiar with the morphotypes here, so there could be like a really ugly one that's, I don't know, still important somehow.
It's like if I had endless time, I'd be like, yeah. Suddenly feeling crunch time. So fragmentary leaves, I'm gonna.
Yep. Because you've got just a couple more hours here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This happened last year, where the best stuff we found was the last afternoon we were here.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. What are the chances? I guess
how it
it
always
makes
works.
sense. It's like how it takes you a couple days to figure out, you know, what you want and how the rock breaks and where the best things are.
Uh-huh. It's the same thing with vertebrate paleontology, as I'm sure you know. Like, you're just wrapping up, like, excavating a specimen, and then somebody goes out prospecting that afternoon on the very last day, and they
Yeah.
find an incredible specimen.
You're like, great, thanks. Why didn't you find this weeks ago?
Exactly.
It's like, ha ha ha.
That's job security, I guess. Like, gotta go back the next year. And that sounds good, Claire. Hey, could you post that, yeah, private on the YouTube? That would be good. Man, we were talking about Taco Bell the other day, and like, it'd be really nice to have an endorsement deal or something with them, but I don't know. Somebody, one of my moderators made a clip of it. Thank you, Claire, for doing that.
That's funny.
Got nothing. Oh, nope, never mind. That's not nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, look at that. Look at those leaves. Wow. Very nice. Shoot, take a look.
That is really good. Oh my goodness.
I hope I didn't scratch them up right there.
No, they're beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. Here's the counterpart here.
This is like the preservation from last year, that really big slab.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
Holy moly. Nice.
Very cool.
I was just
And
looking
that-
at the back and going, oh, nothing. And then look at this. Oh, man.
That's what I live for.
Look at that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be a totally complete leaf because you can get some of that.
Fantastic.
This side,
Yeah, I
the
can
petiole
scrape
with
that
it
off.
on
Yeah.
this side.
Beautiful. Wow. Pretty sweet, right? Fossil plants, they're exciting. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Oh, yeah. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, we do have serrated margin, don't we? Yeah.
I've seen a couple, yeah.
Uh-huh. Which is... Yeah, so there's some... See how there's kind of like serrations on the edge right there? Yeah, almost like serrations on a knife or something. That's often a characteristic of plants in colder environments, but you know, you kind of average it out across the whole flora. Like if everybody's got serrations, that tells you this is a cold place. If only a few species have it.
And it also depends on the size of the serrations.
Right, okay, yeah.
Serrations are more common in warm weather.
Nice. Shoot, so I don't mess this up, I might let you crack this apart. If I can,
No, you sure you don't want to try? You sure you don't want to learn?
I mean, I'll try, but I
I
might
won't make you do it.
I might cry if I,
Yeah, I might cry too.
well,
No, I can do it if you don't want to.
I mean, I can do it. Do you trust me?
Don't hit it unless you don't care if it breaks.
We'll let Whitney do it. This is too beautiful a specimen
I'm not sure.
to leave to an amateur. If you mess
I'm
it
gonna
up,
do some
then there is
thinking
like a
about it.
guaranteed, you know, that I would have
No
messed
one
it
would
up
be
worse.
Mad at me. Who would be mad at me?
True.
I don't know. Someone could just carry it down.
I'll carry that in my
Are you sure?
arms. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
We try like over here, just a little bit at a time.
Wow. Very nice. I'm so glad everybody got to see that. Yeah.
Discovery caught on camera.
I know. Holy cow.
I'll leave it for now.
All right, so we've decided for now we're not even going to try and break it up. It'll just be as it is. Are we going to wrap it like that or just...
I think, yeah, we'll wrap it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well.
What a layer that's turned out to be.
I know.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, we're getting really lucky. All right, and even closer to being able to get this guy out. Suddenly seems less important than it did before.
I still like that one.
Yeah, we'll get it. And is the audio not working? What's going on? You're good. Okay. Nice. So the layer underneath this guy is all soily. There's all of these modern plant roots underneath that have basically turned this into soil, it seems like. So I should be able to just lift this off.
Nice.
Provided it doesn't get stuck on the sides. Oh, there we go. Nice.
Is there something on the other side?
Check
there?
that leaf. Here? Oh,
The hole is.
yeah, big leaf right here. Although,
It looks not that great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let me show the viewers at home. Make sure I'm holding onto this in the right spots. That right there, not very good. A few veins, but I don't think it's worth collecting. But this guy definitely is. This slab is way too big, though. I'm going to try and cut this down. Are there any other pieces of this that you want to save? Other
You don't happen to have the other side of this, do you? Okay, but if it comes down to,
Yeah.
you know, not carrying a 30-pound rock down the hill,
Yeah.
whatever.
Let's see. Some kind of plant hash in here. Not really important. Put my sunglasses on if I'm going to be sending chips of rock flying through the air. Anyway, Diagonal, I'm glad you're here right now because I know you've got background in paleobotany, or botany at least. I forget your exact background. It is in paleobotany, right? So it's cool that you can be here. And Becca Paintmore says, do the layers tend to naturally delaminate along the different deposition boundaries before being prized open with a hammer and chisel? Yeah, so generally they split along where the leaves are. The leaves form kind of a weak spot. Am I getting this right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're concentrating.
Over here. Yeah, it's like this. Usually plants are in much more well laminated rock. Like this is pretty unusual. The bedding is just like not really, we're not splitting on bedding unless there's a leaf there. Or if there's like, we have these layers of like broken up shell deposits. So the rock is breaking along leaves or the shell deposits, otherwise it's just breaking randomly, coidally.
Yeah, so it doesn't want to split along here. Basically, you have to do whatever the rock wants to do. It's tough to like fight it. Again, trying to just down so we just get this part here. I'm doing the best I can, but we'll see how this goes. If the rock doesn't want to cooperate, there's not much I can do. There we go. We've got a question. Are there any fish from this layer? We've got none yet. I guess it's not impossible, but yeah. Whew. Oh, we got close there. My heart skipped a beat. But this is good. This is good. Getting closer.
Nice.
Yeah. How much truth to that old idea is there that you don't get bones and leaves preserved in the same layers or even like near each other? I guess here we've got a plant site that's just above the regular Turtle Hill layer there. But yeah, have you ever seen a site where you get like leaves preserved on top of vertebrate fossils?
Yeah, so the T-Rex site, the documentary one.
Right. Yeah.
That's at the Denver. So there's a juvenile T-Rex, and then there was like 2 meters of plant fossils above, and it's all the same rock.
2 meters, so 2 solid meters of plant material?
Basically, I mean,
that's
not
nuts.
Solid, like they weren't like all on top of each other, but there were some places where it was like solid leaves.
Shoot.
So I went out to help with the leaves there. And then when they took the T-Rex out and started prepping it, within the layer, you should follow, like, I don't know where they have this information for them. I know that they have it on display at the Denver Museum right now. But if you follow, I think, Jurassic Giants, which is an Instagram page for some of the prep people there.
Okay.
They, even though it's not Jurassic.
It's Cretaceous, yeah. But an end of the Cretaceous
at
that, but yeah.
They have like photos on there, and then I think the Denver Museum has Instagram photos like on their actual main Instagram page.
Nice.
And you can see the T-Rex. They're really beautiful photos. The T-Rex like skull
Uh-huh.
is displayed with its mouth open. Have you seen this?
I haven't actually, no.
With its mouth open, and then next to it is this like gorgeous palm frond that they found on the same layer as the bones, maybe even a little bit recessed.
Nuts.
And they keep finding like little bits of plants,
Yeah,
and it's all in the same layer as the bones.
wild.
So yeah.
So it's like an old wives' tale, basically, that you don't find plants and bones in the same layer.
Yeah, I don't think it's very common.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Huh. Neat.
Yeah.
Very cool. And let's see here. Hi, this is Emi says, this is so wholesome. Thank you for saying that. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Hope you stick around and feel free to ask some questions. It's not every day we get a paleobotanist on the crew to answer our plant questions. And I really hope we don't get rained on here. That looks like we could get some rain pretty soon. There's a chance we might have to run.
That would suck.
Yeah, that would be lousy.
Does it say, like, do you have a forecast? Have you seen
I
it?
listened to the radio forecast this morning, the NOAA weather radio, and they said around 4 p.m., which it's 4 p.m. now, we should be getting a lot of cloud cover, but it didn't say anything about rain. So we could get some sporadic rain coming through. I think I actually see some rain right there. And that might be heading right toward us. So, yeah. We'll see, chat. We might have to run.
Maybe I'll stop pulling things and actually wrap leaves.
Yeah. Got this guy almost done. Whoa. Oh, shoot. Alright, so our leaf fragmented, and then there's an even more beautiful leaf underneath. So, that's not the worst.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Keep both, wrap them up.
Yeah.
Someone in the lab can figure out what to do about that.
Okay. Alright. Got another one for you, Paul.
Right.
This is just came off of here. I'm going to try and get this guy smaller. But, that's really delicate. Isn't that pretty?
And both sides are of interest.
Yeah. That's nice. Let me come back in a minute after I've got more of this one. Hopefully it comes quietly. Don't have to use too much force. Isn't that nice?
That's a knife edge there.
I know, right?
Dude, you may be right.
Got lucky.
So I just have the one piece. You got everything else.
I've got everything else. I'll bring that to you in a minute, so that can be A and this can be B, maybe?
Okay, I'm just gonna set that aside.
Perfect. We might get some rain here in a second, too, if you need to make any preparations.
I'm gonna bring things up and then I'm gonna
Still on top of it. That's a one-off. This is one thing. That's two things. This is part of it. And that is
Yeah, these are together. This is not what this is. Totally separate.
totally
And we
separate.
can throw this one.
No, wait.
You want that?
No, I think we can wrap it.
Okay.
We can case it loosely some way. See if we can get it.
Sorry, I almost threw it.
Oh. Oh, no. Not what I was trying to do.
Hey, Danny.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out a way to prepare for the rain.
Yeah.
This thing.
How many tarps have you guys got?
We got one big one.
One big tarp. Shoot.
Yeah. I was thinking we might be able to, like, if we leave now, bring it to the car, and then we could.
Potentially, but this will be here in the next couple minutes. It would catch you as you're trying to get to the car.
So,
Do we have like a big rock we could stick it underneath? Or
There's no overhang.
what if we made an overhang out of those totes? Like we put two down his legs and then one is like a tabletop and put the jacket underneath?
I'm gonna throw something from
that doesn't seem wide enough.
No? Could we stick it in one of the totes?
It's like the same width as the
Shoot.
red one.
Put it on that, bring that back.
slab of rock that we can stick over the top like a lid. Would that be okay?
And then it'll be one piece.
Fair,
relatively
yeah. It's not very thick.
Let's just see. Let's
Okay.
see if this would.
I have a couple more leaves,
Yeah,
then
you
I'm
might
gonna
be able
help
to
you.
squeeze it. Well, I don't know. It's hard. Yeah. And we might even, we might not even get rain on. We'll see. Put it at an angle.
Not me dropping one on camera. Do you mind if I show them the veination on this one?
Please, yeah.
It's got good contrast. I don't know if it'll autofocus, but
Everybody in the chat going, wow, cool. That's fantastic. Gorgeous.
they also just watched me almost drop it, so.
Oh, look at this caterpillar.
Oh wow, spiky.
Yeah, look at him. Not a fossil, but still cool to see.
Yeah. It's crazy looking.
Hey there, Lepidopteran friend. How are you doing? Where are you headed? Very cool. Here, let's put this guy somewhere safer. I think I can. Let's do some invert rescue here. All right, come here. It's all confused. Why did the surface change?
I've never seen slippery before.
Yeah. Come here. Come on. Trying not to touch you with my fingers because it's probably all kinds of venomous and irritating. But there we go. Let's go put him on some plants. It's not going to get stepped on.
TP.
Sorry.
Yeah, that sucks.
Are you getting a little aggro with your rabbit?
What are you going to say?
Ethan's jackery and panels are out right now, so he's
Oh.
worried that the rain might hit that.
Do we have anybody in camp?
Basically told me that if we're the first ones back, we
We'll
should
put
get
them away? Yeah.
Taken care of.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that looks like it might be heading toward camp.
Yeah.
Darn. That's why I didn't leave mine out today. I didn't realize that he was going to. The panels will be fine. It's the jackery is a much more expensive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot. We'll see.
It's the big roll. More resistance.
Yeah.
Figured it out.
I guess just cross your fingers it doesn't get too wet.
I mean, I'm trying to pack things up quickly here and run over there. I mean, we can always come back.
We've got 2 vehicles here.
3. No, just 2. No. Yeah, 3, because Nick.
Nick is here?
Yeah.
Nick drives the fastest. We want to call him up and...
Yeah. Okay. I'll give him a call.
Okay, cool. Huh. Oh well. Sorry about discussion going on. We're expecting some rain, it looks like. And yeah, our expedition leader left his very expensive solar battery outside, and if that gets rained on, it could get ruined. So we're gonna see if we can call up one of our crew members to quickly drive back to camp and get that put away so it doesn't get ruined. We'll see. Yeah. Anyhow. It's back like this. Alright, this one just did not want to brake properly. Is that still worth wrapping, you think?
Oh, this just fell off.
Oh, shoot.
Underneath.
I know, right? They're just stacked.
Sure, wrap it up.
Okay.
Usually I don't do this.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That could be someone else's problem.
Don't think they did it when they opened it up.
Glue. There you go. What break?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay.
Can I give you a super difficult challenge, Paul?
Yeah.
We got this right
It's
here.
gonna fall off.
You're gonna lose that. I don't know how you're gonna keep that on there.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, I know how we could do it.
Yeah.
Can I do it?
Yeah,
I
please.
think I'm just gonna push a bunch on there, and then if this tiny little piece falls off, it's
Okay, yeah, fair.
the world.
Sounds good to me.
Sorry, not that I don't believe in your ability.
No,
but
no, it's not. I was asking Paul to do it. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Sorry.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Do you have the other piece of this? The other side? It was this leaf that you were working on.
Yes, it's right there. Yeah. This guy.
Yeah, I'll wrap it cool.
Perfect. Thanks, Whitney.
Yeah.
Cool. That is the right one, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Oh, and Paddington's Dreamweaver says that I'm going to a trilobite site at the end of the month. Very nice. Yeah. We happen to have a world-class trilobite person right here in the quarry with us. There's, I'll turn the camera around briefly. There's Paul right there. Countless different trilobites over the years. A lot of other cool Cambrian stuff. But yeah, trilobites are really neat. I've only ever collected trilobites a handful of times. I've never found a truly beautiful one. So, big respect to everybody who has the patience to do that. Yeah. And Gopher Fluffernut wants to know how much of today's plant life was around with the dinosaurs. Not a whole lot. Angiosperms, the flowering plants, only evolved about 130 million years ago, something like that. So today, that's the majority of all plant species are angiosperms. And that group only really got started about halfway through the age of dinosaurs. Maybe a little bit after halfway through. But yeah, we've got plants like magnolias, dogwoods, laurels, things like that. Am I getting this right, Whitney?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Those are all flowering plants. The last of the dinosaurs. And yeah, ferns, ginkgos, cycads, bryophytes, all kinds of plants like that. Conifers, yeah, of course. Can't leave them out. Yeah.
Grasses weren't around at all during the time of the dinosaurs, and grasses are everywhere now.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they're ubiquitous. Got them on 6 continents. They were... Well, I've heard people say that we've got, like, grass pollen from the Cretaceous, but people say that, and I've never actually seen that, like, confirmed or anything.
I haven't heard it, but I imagine that... I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know everything. But it could be possible, but I thought it was later. Like, not even, like, right after the Cretaceous, but a little bit after that. And then also, it's like, it's an angiosperm. It could have pollen that looks really similar to some other kind of angiosperm.
Fair, yeah.
It's a monocot,
Uh-huh.
so it's, like, more closely related to, like, palms
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's actually more closely related to palms, but palms are monocots.
We do have palms from the Cretaceous, right?
Yeah. So we've got monocots, just not like true grass.
Right, okay, yeah. It's funny, sometimes I forget that palms are also angiosperms.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I forget that too.
Yeah.
And then coconuts, you know, fruit.
Yeah. So yeah, for the most part, plants during the age of dinosaurs, you know, a Mesozoic flora would be very different from a Cenozoic flora for the most part. Or at least from a modern day flora. Yeah. A flora is a plant fauna. For those of you following along at home, we were joking about that yesterday. Yeah. That's what plant zoologists study, you know? They study the plant fauna. I need to get some more water. And it looks like we might be okay for the next little while. There are some rain clouds that are drifting kind of toward camp, but they don't look super heavy. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get some water though. I think Fit Cool in the jacket there. We'll go check in with him in a second after I have hydrated. How are we doing battery-wise? 25%. Yeah, we gotta wrap up before too long. Yeah. Here we go. You got something cool in there, Fisher?
Josh just pulled out a ray tooth that he's putting away now.
A ray tooth, very cool. We see, yeah, right before it goes in the vial.
You got it.
Nice. Look at that. So that hexagonally shaped little tooth right there is from an animal kind of like a stingray. So I've seen these guys reconstructed. They look kind of more like guitar fish, but they're from the same group, the batoids, I think, if memory serves, that like stingrays and guitar fish and stuff belong to. Really neat. Nice. Yeah.
I feel bad showing my super dirty fingers with that. Perhaps in the vial it'll look more scientific.
Yeah,
look how
nice.
Scientific that is. It's in a vial.
That's some science there.
Nice.
Thanks, Josh.
No problem.
Very cool. So yeah, again, another little piece of our environmental puzzle here, trying to figure out what this ecosystem was like. You had fishes and turtles and stingray-like critters too, from the same family as stingrays. Yeah. And JD's Antarctic voyage records grasses found, so grasses are on all continents? I didn't know that, Diagonal. That's nuts. Wow. Huh. And yeah. So Ash, we were just talking about that, like grass pollens, but kind of controversial, you know? I'm not a paleobotanist, but I'm always just still a little bit skeptical when you've got pollens from a whole group, but you don't have any quote-unquote body fossils. Maybe that's the wrong term for botanical specimens, but yeah. Actually, Whitney, what's the plant term for a quote-unquote body fossil? Do you still call them body fossils when they're plants? As opposed to pollen or something like that?
Macrofossils?
Macrofossils, okay, yeah.
But then again, I don't know, like what we call, like, we get a lot of just leaf impressions.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's like a proper name for like a body fossil that is like here. That was here. I don't know.
Huh. Ooh, nice.
I'm gonna need some help with this.
You need another set of hands? I can help.
Yeah, I think another wad like this.
Yeah?
Right.
Let me set this down. Set you down, chat. Hang on.
I'll keep my hand on this. And
So another wad right there?
yeah, a big wad that we can kind of spread.
Yeah,
And we're
okay.
going to make it oversized. Then we're going to sandwich this
Nice.
against that and
Smart.
tape it up tight.
Let me know when you think this is big enough.
Keep coming. Just,
Yeah.
we can't have too much here. I don't think.
It's our last day after
Sorry, I'm
all.
gonna squeeze through here and grab this.
Go for it.
I'm sorry, did you say our next number was 28 or 29?
Let's see. I just did 48.
Oh, that's what I meant. 48 or 49. Okay, I'll do
How's this?
49.
Oh, sweet.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to spread that out, and we're just going to try to make that. Okay, and then you're going to just
Oh, nice.
Like that
Okay,
so it's
sandwich
on there.
them. Yeah, now I know what you mean.
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't got the right angle.
Mm-hmm.
You could lay
Just
it
like
on
that.
there. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Now we're going to use electrical tape
Okay.
because it's stretchy
Yeah.
and we can make that real tight.
Nice.
And then that'll be one piece.
Great. Okay. Will we wrap it after you put the electrical tape on?
I don't think, no.
Okay.
Just to carry it down, I don't think we'll wrap
Now
it.
to ship it, maybe you will want to wrap it.
Yeah, maybe down
This
at
is
the-
just to get it down the hill, honestly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Our really big slabs from last year that were like this size and a little bit bigger,
Uh-huh.
they just strapped them to a board and took them that way.
Right. Yeah,
So
I
we
remember
don't-
that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it might be all right just like this all the way.
Cool. Okay.
Let me see. Hopefully I've got enough tape to make that nice and tight.
Wow. First use of electrical tape on fossils that I've seen thus far. That's going to be
It's
interesting.
a special
That's what I
Paul
use.
method.
Yeah.
That's what I use in the Spence. It really works well.
Gotcha. It makes sense that it stretches. Yeah. Nice.
I haven't got one started. More in the truck. Yeah, this is not going to be enough. We might get one.
One pass with it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a fair amount.
If you want me to run back down to the truck and grab more, I could do that.
It'll still be an option. We don't have to decide right now. I wish that wasn't so rocky.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a
that makes
rock.
it tough.
Haha, sorry.
I wonder if.
You gotta try your best not to slide the toilet paper over the
Yeah,
leaves.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm sorry to
I think I'm
micromanage
gonna
you.
lay that right back there. That's fine if it's rocky.
Do you need a hand?
I don't think so. Yeah, see, I'd use half a roll on something like this.
Yeah.
Because the idea is, see, it stretches,
Uh-huh.
get it tight,
Can you stick it to itself?
sticks to itself.
Yeah, nice, nice.
And then so, well, that'd be minimum, but I would want to do more.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just burn it up.
Let me know if you need another set of hands. It's looking good though.
Yeah, this will get it down the hill.
Nice. Very cool. Just learned a new method. Yeah.
I can do it.
Nice.
You'll be happy we did. The thing is, you get it down like this, you can trim that on a saw so easily.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't get the leaves wet, right? So anyway, you gotta keep the leaves dry. You can trim that with a saw so easily.
Uh-huh.
It's really not worth hitting with a hammer unless,
Right.
Unless you're okay with it really breaking.
yeah,
Fair,
unless
yeah.
you're fine with it breaking, then it's like, okay, give it a shot. But it'll probably break. That's just something I arrived at over the years after breaking a lot of really nice fossils.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I still need to do those 4. Oh.
Okay, well this should get a number. I'm wondering.
Let's take a look at some of these other ones.
Do you have any more of those paper stickers?
Take a look at these. Let's take a look at some of these other lovely specimens they've got floating around here. I showed these ones yesterday.
Pretty.
Especially in this light.
It's like an angel. Beautiful, cloth-covered, swaddled child.
That's going too. Are we back? Let's see, I hope it didn't reset my server here.
You know, I'm not here to be picky right now.
No, it says we're good. We're back. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. The camera shut off for some reason. I don't know why. So I had no idea that was good. You know, I wasn't looking at chat. I was working on wrapping this plant over here. So apologies. But we're back now. Yeah. We had a raid come in. Well, shoot. I'm sorry about that, everybody. This is how it goes with fieldwork sometimes. But welcome back to Paleontologizing. For all the raiders, thank you for coming in here. Appreciate it. We're wrapping up some fossil plants before we have to head out for the day. So yeah. Good stuff. And Inkstar Illustrates says, dinosaurs. Yes, indeed. We are currently collecting some fossil plants from the age of dinosaurs, from the late Cretaceous almond formation, about 73 million years old. If you want to figure out what this ancient environment was like, you know, it's much more than just dinosaurs. You gotta look at all the other organisms that were living here, and the plants are a vital component of that ecosystem. So it's really important to collect them and understand them. Today we're joined by Whitney, who's our resident paleobotanist here, and she's been teaching me how to collect fossil plants like this. So I'll show you some leaves in a second after I get this thing wrapped. I think I might be just about done here. Let's see. Think this is about good enough?
Yeah, if you think so, yeah.
I think so. All right. Cool.
What number are you using there?
52.
Oh, are you waiting on the tube, Danny?
Yeah, go for it though.
Cheers.
Yeah, I can wait a second. Let me pay attention to chat because I've been neglectful. And yeah. Havoc Heart says, dinosaur guy, paleobotanist, where's the chaotician? Oh boy, is that a Jurassic Park reference? Yeah, we don't have any mathematicians on the crew.
Oh, sorry.
But we do have some engineers, some geologists, and some other people too. We've got a cool group this year. The engineers aren't really doing any engineering, they're just here for kicks and giggles. But here, I'll take that Sharpie with you. What number are we up to?
You'll
Let's
have
see.
54.
54. All right. Nice. Some of these fossil leaves like this, really pretty. I don't even know if we're gonna collect this one. Yeah, did I have any other good ones over there that I hadn't picked up yet?
I was just looking. That one's alright. It's not great, but there's one there.
Okay.
There's
Anything
this
else
one
I
I
can wrap?
wasn't gonna collect. I don't think we have any more to wrap yet.
Okay.
But that's a part and counterpart if you want to show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some great ones that are out right now.
There we go. So this fits in right here like that. So open it up. Blammo, there's a fossil leaf in there. How cool is that? 73 million years old, give or take. Yeah. So this sort of thing is really, really important for figuring out these ancient ecosystems. If you want to know what the climate was like, how wet it was in this environment, how dry, you know, what kind of seasonality there might be, the plants are the way to figure that out, usually. So, Baby says, that's so rad, thanks. Yeah, pretty cool, right? Yeah. And Starmy says, can you donate the fossils that you won't collect to a local museum? I don't know. As a paleontologist, there's like a battle that we have to fight against being too sentimental about fossils. It's like we're collecting these for scientific purposes, and we collect the specimens that are scientifically useful. Sometimes, yeah, yeah. That's always like the inclination is like, I don't want to leave this thing behind, but I don't know. That could be a trap to fall into sometimes. Yeah.
But usually, if it's pretty, it means it's also well preserved.
Yeah.
Which means it's important.
Especially with plants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I found like tyrannosaur teeth before up in the Judith, and they were, you know, they'd washed down a gully and into a ravine, and it's like, do we really want to spend the time and effort to like bag this and make a specimen label and take a GPS reading and everything else? Like, sometimes you just have to leave those things. I've done a lot of that in the past. Yeah. And there you go. Me wanting to keep every microscopic shark tooth I find. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Now, let me go get some more water. Here we go. And yeah, we might get some rain here. I don't know. Shoot. Let's see how we're doing battery-wise, too, if I've got to wrap up. What are we at? 21%. Okay for now. Yeah. And what will come first, dead battery or rain? Yeah, that looks like some rain coming in. You see this fish?
Yeah, to the west.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
I don't want that either. I think it might be a good idea to start wrapping up. Yeah.
Be at least prepared to pack up quickly.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. How are you doing with the jacket down there?
Trimmed a lot of it.
Uh-huh.
But I probably won't be able to cap it today if we're gonna try to run from the rain. So I'm just gonna stick it in
I'll
the specimen box.
Okay.
And then we'll probably take care of it tomorrow morning.
Will it fit now that you've trimmed it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
We tested it. It does fit as long as we tilt it a little bit. And
Perfect.
everything in there is glued quite well. So,
Yeah, and then we can actually take our time jacketing it tomorrow.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, shoot. Let me wrap up the stream here so that I can pack up and get ready for these incoming clouds. Yeah, shoot. Whitney, any closing thoughts on this fossil site and its importance? I'm putting you on the spot 100% right now. But
I think that, you know, paleobotany is a field that is, there's not a lot of people doing it. I think that plants are a really common fossil that people find out, you know, when, you know, if you're just hiking, you can find them pretty easily. And then also a lot of people like this are looking for things like dinosaurs or crocs or turtles and will blow through leaves. And I think there's always more room for people in the field. I think paleobotany is a really awesome community.
Yeah.
And it's really important. And I think it's easy to, you know, look past these things that might look really common to see something that might look really crazy or alien. But in many ways, these are like the best indicators of climate and ecology and like relationships and, you know, how wet a climate is and what the atmosphere looks like. And then also, sorry, now I'm just rambling.
No, this is great.
Also, I think that we're understanding how plants respond to climate change can be like a really important key thing to learn as we face climate change. Plants are very resilient, and they fix the atmosphere and the ground and erosion and all those things. So they're
Plants
an
are kind of the
important
key to
part
everything.
of Earth, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Whitney.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, so for understanding the flora, the plant community of the almond formation is vitally important.
It's getting heavy.
Nope. Should still be on. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. There's a loose connection with the camera, and yeah, I'll figure out a solution to that. I'll use some tape or something so that it doesn't come loose in the future. But we've got to, yeah, we got to go raid into somebody else so I can wrap this up, because we've got what look like some rain clouds coming in. So who is on Twitch right now? Who is live? Let's see. Home. Following. Let's see.
Sorry. About
Casey Snowart is on. Beautiful. She's doing her partner push. Raid. Casey Snowart. Brilliant. Oh, and holy cow. Well, Lana Lux, thank you for the raid. I really appreciate it. We've got to run in just a second here. You know, we're digging up some fossil plants and some other cool critters from the almond formation, late Cretaceous of Wyoming. But we've got some rain clouds coming in, and so we're about to go right into Casey Snowart. So get ready to see a really cool artist talk about art and how you can do art too. She's a very good teacher. So we're here to raid to the raid. Thank you, Dissidents TV. Excellent. Yeah, we'll be streaming again tomorrow, probably from a different site. So we'll be digging up a dinosaur tomorrow, most likely. I'll either go to the Purple Puzzle Duckbill dinosaur site, Hadrosaur, or I'll go to the Ankylosaur site, our armored dinosaur. We'll see. But for right now, we're going to go right into Casey Snowart. Everybody, thank you so much for everything, your questions, your viewership, your patience, as we had some technical difficulties out here in the middle of nowhere, streaming live via satellite. Appreciate every one of you. Thank you, thank you. Let's go right into Casey Snowart. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Bye-bye.